Oh, for me,
Yep.
we have had a lot of wins. Thank God, everything's going well. Got awarded a big sprinkler irrigation project, and closed some other deals during the week as well. So everything's going great.
I love that. Now, are those through like the Facebook ads or just like your word of mouth referrals?
That's just like the pools came through the Facebook ads, but that's
Okay.
just me upselling more projects and more things, while I'm there.
I love
Not
that. Gotta
leaving any
love the
money on the
upsells.
table.
Oh yeah, 100%. Gotta squeeze the most amount of juice out of the leads you get, huh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's amazing.
50,000 linear feet of pipe.
50,000.
Yeah. So it's a lot of pipe. Big
Wow.
project. 40
Wow.
acres.
40 acres?
Yeah.
Jeez. That's amazing.
Yeah,
I
man.
see Franco is joining. Franco, how are you? You might be on mute, Franco.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How about you? I can hear you. How are you?
Oh, good, good. Thank you.
Awesome. Is it this is your first time joining our call, correct?
I joined once, but
Okay.
yeah, but my first time.
Awesome. Well,
Yeah,
welcome.
my first time talking. Yeah.
Thank you for joining and welcome. We're super excited to have you on. We usually do these every Friday at 12 p.m. And then the way it works is we usually go over everybody's wins for the week, any frictions for the week, and then we go over the topic that we're going to be talking about today, which is lead nurturing and follow process after you guys do an on-site visit. So Franco, did you have any wins this week or anything that stood out?
Yeah, I'm working with one client now that he wants to do the job.
Awesome.
That's the only one that I have from this
Awesome.
last 2 weeks. Yeah.
Gotta close them, man.
Yeah, I'm following up every day with him.
I love that. Awesome. Yeah, keep doing that, and keep coming to these calls. These calls are super valuable, and there's a lot of people on these calls that have been with us for a year, 2 years, even 3 years, working and making a lot of money through the marketing campaign. So these calls would be extremely valuable for you and your sales process as well.
Got it. Yeah.
Awesome. I see. Is it Mauro on the call?
I am. You seem so shocked.
Long time no see. It's been a while.
I know.
How have you been?
I'm really well, thank you. We've had a lot of new things happening here, so I have been super tied up, and that's why my camera's off, because I'm actually
that's good though.
in the middle of working right now.
Yep.
Because I can't stop.
It's all good.
But everything's really good.
That's amazing.
We got the pool company launched and under its own name and insurance and everything like that. So it's still a part of Sabatina Landscaping, but under its own business name. We've sold 4 pools under it so far. We just shot our first gunite pool last week as our own company, so that's super exciting. But yeah, I'm doing really well. Thanks for asking. How are you?
I'm doing great. Better than ever. And then trying to make sure we on these weekly calls we have more people join so we can continue to all educate and grow together. So that's my number one priority on this call as well. But I appreciate you joining, Mauro. It's always nice to see you, and I hope you join in future as well.
We're definitely going to start trying to get more on.
Awesome. Perfect. Ryan, what's happening, my man? How are you?
Hey, they're doing pretty good.
Awesome. Any wins for the week? Any frictions?
Things are going pretty good. Slow and steady, bringing in some revenue, some sales.
Got it. Awesome. Love to hear that. I think so. We're 12:07. We're gonna go ahead and get started. Today's topic is lead nurturing and follow procedure. So basically today's topic, we're gonna cover when you guys do an on-site estimate, how many touch points or how many follow-ups you guys need to do with the lead, and what do you guys need to do after they are not responding back, or they completely ghost you, or if they decide to move forward with you, what are the next steps from there? Now, the goal of this process is so that you guys can boost lead engagement, build relationships, and ultimately help you guys close these deals. So for those of you on the call, if you guys don't have a follow-up process after you guys do an on-site visit, I will highly recommend go through our course area. This is going to be saved there, and you guys can literally plug and play this template, either email or text, so you guys have a proven lead nurturing process. So that's what we're going to cover. Now, before I jump into that on-site, the lead nurturing and follow-up process, I want to quickly go over what exactly you guys need to be doing when you qualify a lead, when you do an on-site estimate. So we're all aligned on at what point in your sales process is when you guys need to start adding these lead nurturing processes as well. So first, you get a lead, right? So basically you get a lead, they fill out the survey, name, email, phone number, their budget, timeline to get started. Either you have an appointment setting service through us, or you guys are calling these leads. Yeah.
I'm gonna have Abby jump on this call. I think it is an important call for her. So if we see her come in, can you let her in, please?
Yeah, absolutely. I just let her in.
Thank you.
Absolutely. All right. Yeah. So you get a lead in and they fill out the survey. So either you're using our appointment setting service, or you guys already have a front desk or an office manager who's going to be calling these leads. Now, the goal on the first call is to identify the need, identify why is now a right time to get a project, right? And then also you guys need to know what is their budget, what is their timeline, where they're located, are they within your serviceable area or not, would they be needing financing or not, do they have a property survey if it's a pool project, if it's a hardscape, you guys can talk about that. And then again, the goal is to set up an on-site estimate from there. So you guys do an on-site estimate. Another thing we want to talk about here is being on time. So when you schedule an on-site estimate, you want to book that appointment as early as possible, because think about, like, if somebody's wanting to get a project done, chances are they're not going to just reach out to you. They're probably going to reach out to 10, 15 other companies locally within your area if it's a saturated market. If it's not, they might reach out to at least 3 or 4 clients. So what you guys want to do is schedule that appointment as early as possible, and then send them a confirmation text and email. So that's a reminder that, hey, we are all set for this day and time, and I will be showing up to your property and we're going to talk about this project. So that's the goal of that appointment or reminder sequence. Now, and another important thing is, the day of the appointment, the goal is to obviously be 100% professional, and you want to show up on time. I've seen a lot of clients, or contractors, they would not show up on time, or they might even show up 10 minutes late or 20 minutes late. That's fine, but at least communicate that with the customer that, hey, I'm going to be late, I'm stuck in traffic, or whatever the case is. So that way they understand that you're communicating throughout the process. It makes you look professional, especially if the leads are generated through Facebook ads or Google, right? You've never talked to these people. They're total strangers, and you want to just, like, you're representing your brand. So if you don't communicate properly, guess what? That's going to put a bad taste in their mouth about, like, hey, I don't really want to work with them or what. So you want to, like, literally think about every single thing that you guys are doing in your sales process from a customer's eye, and how can you improve it? So send them a reminder. I'm going to be coming up to your house at this day and time. And then before, I would say, even arrive early and let them know, like, hey, I'm already here. So just whenever you're ready. So they're here, you guys do an on-site estimate. The goal is, like, be professional, wear a company t-shirt with a company logo, dress professionally, and have a business card on you, with some paperwork, notes, so you guys can take notes. You're doing an on-site estimate. Now, this estimate is all about the customer. You want to know more about them, build rapport with them, asking some discovery questions. And we've talked about this multiple times. What is the project? Why did they decide to do it now? Who all is involved in this project? The budget, everything. So that's the goal of that actual on-site estimate. Now, you as a contractor, this is the chance where you have to be 100% absolute certain. Either you can take on this or you cannot take on this project, right? Like not every project is going to be feasible for you or within your scope of work. So you really want to identify if this is something your company can deliver on or they cannot deliver on. Okay. So after you've done an on-site estimate, if you can deliver or complete this project, next step would be taking measurements and be like, hey, within the next 24 hours, I'm going to provide a proposal. So a lot of clients try to get them within 48 hours, 72, within a week or 2 weeks. You guys need to see it from the customer's eye again. Try to get that proposal in a timely manner. I would say within 24 to 48 hours at max. Now, when you're leaving, leave your company brochure. If you don't have one, email them right away after the call. So you've done your due diligence, you've done the actual estimate. Now, when you go back to your office, you want to send them an email, and you also want to send them a text like, hey, it was great talking to you. I just shot you an email, everything you need to know about our company. And that is pretty much like a PDF file. They're going to know about what type of projects you worked in the past, your reviews, a little bit of history about your company. How did you even get started? Guys, stories sell. So add a little bit of story in that company brochure. This is our story. This is how we started. This is how many projects we've done. This is how many, the type of project you're looking for. Make sure that there's a project similar to that in that brochure. So when they're looking at it, like, oh, this is exactly what I wanted. I think this is the company I want to go with, right? So you send them over, and now the next step is you want to send them a proposal. So like I said, the fast turnaround really stands out, and it tells, like, as a company, you guys are extremely efficient, professional, and puts a positive experience in a customer's eye. Okay, so deliver that proposal within 24 hours. Now, this is where the clock starts. So you guys are like, hey, I sent them a proposal, I did everything. Now I just have to wait for the customer to respond back to me and let me know, like, hey, they're in or they're not in. Now, I've seen a couple of times clients would deliver the proposal through an email. Email is probably not the best way to deliver it. I would highly recommend you guys do either through Zoom or in person. So if they have any questions, you're there to answer them. Sometimes email might land in their spam folder or junk folder, and they won't even look at it. Think about how many other companies are doing the same thing, and you want to stand out in a crowded market. How do you do that? By providing an experience your customers, not everybody else is doing. So if everybody else is sending an email, literally do a Zoom call. If everybody else is doing Zoom call, do an on-site visit. That these little things all add up and provide a world-class customer experience. So step number 7 is your follow-up and nurture sequence. If you have one, that's amazing. I love that. If you don't have one, what I'm about to go over, you can literally just plug and play these templates into your company, in your CRM, and use them today. So this is what we're going to go over today, is the initial follow-up. So within 1 day after or on your meeting, you guys need to send a resource document, everything they need to learn about your company. The more content your customers consume about your company, the chances of that appointment converting into a lead, into a closed job, goes a lot higher, because what you're doing is you're pretty much handling all the objections. Biggest objection that I've seen a lot of companies get is the trust. Do I really trust them or not? Are they reliable? Are they going to deliver the project on time? Are they budget friendly? There's so many different things. People are spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on that project. So you really want to build that trust. How can you do that? By staying professional, providing a world-class experience, and having them consume as much content as possible. So what that email would be: providing a warm greeting, reflect brief summary about your meeting, what did you guys discuss, and attach some documents. And then if they had any questions during the meeting that you were not able to answer, your goal is to answer those questions through that email, and then sign it and just send it to them. That would be your initial follow-up after doing an on-site visit. Now, the second follow-up is within 3 to 4 days after you've done your initial email. Now, that 3 to 4 day follow-up is basically you send them an email, you send them a proposal as well. Now, you haven't heard a response back from them. You're wondering, maybe they didn't receive it, or maybe they did. I have no idea, right? Like you're in the dark. So you want to send them another email, and the email is pretty much just checking in. Did you receive our documents? Now you can do this step number 2 through text as well, or you can do it through email. It is totally up to you. If you feel like, hey, text might be too much, I don't want to buck them, feel free to do them through email. But at least send them one more touch point after the initial follow-up. All that would do is, hey, I know it's been about 2-3 days. I just want to confirm you received the documents that I sent you initially. And then just kind of express some excitement. Hey, I'm really excited to work on this project because this is up my alley, and I've done this in the past, and I wanna go above and beyond on this project for you guys. So you send that, and that is within about 3 to 4 days after your initial. So 3 to 4 days, you're done. Now comes the time, which is your second follow-up, which you guys should be doing from 7 to 10 days. Now, the second follow-up is pretty much you guys want to see like, hey, are they really, really interested in getting this done or not? Or they just wanted a code on a proposal, right? Like there's been so many times I've seen clients after sending 1 or 2 emails, they just give up. They're like, I don't really know if they're serious or not. But your goal is continue to follow up at least for up to 21 days. Just because they're not responding back doesn't mean they're not interested. Maybe they're getting codes from other contractors. Maybe they just got busy with kids, traveling. You never know, right? So just because they haven't responded back doesn't mean they're not interested. So you wanna stay consistent and continue to follow up. So that 7 to 10 day email is all you're doing is you're reframing what you've done initially, like, hey, let's do an on-site measurement, and then let's schedule a time, let's talk. You're trying to reignite some of that conversation within that 7 to 10 day mark. Let them know like, hey, you talked about this project about a week ago. I do have some availability. I can take some measurements, or maybe it's like, hey, you wanted to talk a little bit more about financing, whatever the case is. That 7 to 10 day mark is where you want to do another touch point. So you let them know your availability and send that email. Now keep in mind, in this email, you're not really talking about, hey, are you serious about this, getting this project done? Or is this something you're looking for? Right now, all you're doing is like, hey, I'm available. If you are still interested, let's talk. Let's do another appointment. Now, after your second follow-up, if you still do not hear back from the client, what you need to do is do a final follow-up, which is anywhere from 14 to 21 day time frame. Now, you guys are wondering like, hey, why is there such a huge gap, 14 to 21? This really depends on your initial estimate. Like, hey, how hot was that lead? What were they like super interested in you guys, or were they like, okay, I want to review what you've got and we'll talk about it. It really depends on that, right? Like me personally, if a client wants to work with us and they're like, hey, super excited, I want to make sure we're able to deliver what we promise. We're able to actually close them, and then, provide our services as fast as possible. If someone's like, hey, send me more info, I want to learn more about what you guys offer. I know that lead is maybe they're just looking for more info. They want to learn more about our company. I'm not going to give up, but I'm still going to keep them in my pipeline as like maybe 1 touch point a week or 2 touch points a week, kind of like that. So your final follow-up needs to be anywhere from 14 to 21 day time frame after your second follow-up that you send. And the email is all about, hey, taking your time, let us know when you're ready. I get it. You don't want to like just literally send a direct email saying them like, hey, it looks like you're not interested, so we're going to take you off our list. Nothing like that. You just want to let them know like, hey, I get it, maybe you're not ready, and let us know when you are. So you send that acknowledgement email and invite them to reconnect with you guys when you're ready. Okay, so that what it does, it pretty much opens the room like, hey, maybe just because they're not ready right now, you want to shut the doors like, hey, we don't want to do business together. Maybe now was not the right time. What you want to do is you want to send that email and then put that lead in a revisit list later. If you don't have one, you can, in our CRM, it's called follow up later. So you can put it under follow up later list. So what that does is if 30 days, 40 days, 50 days, So even 60 days, you're doing a reactivation campaign, running any type of special promotions, you can send that email or text blast to that lead. And maybe if they were not ready right there, right then, chances are they might respond back later. Okay, so these are our 4 touch points that you guys should be doing at a minimum. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some examples of what that actual email would look like, so you guys can kind of see. So this is the first email. So which is pretty much like resources to learn more about your company. You guys can plug and play these and tweak it according to how you want your company to sound like. Tonality matters. If you want your company to sound professional, feel free to tweak it. If you want to make it more casual, more personalized, do so as well. I just put together like a standard template. So anybody on the call wants to use it for the company, you guys can do so. So all it says is, this is a subject line, resources to learn more about our company. Hi, client first name. I hope you enjoyed our meeting earlier. It was great discussing your project, getting to know your vision for your outdoor living space or a pool, whatever the project was. That is what's going to go in this line. As promised, I'm sending you a few documents that provide more information about our company and the services we offer. Please take your time to review at your convenience. If you have any questions or need further clarification, feel free to reach out to me. Looking forward to hearing your thoughts. That's all that email is. Super simple, professional, and there's no pressure in that email like, hey, you need to respond back to me this, or I'm going to move on next. I'm booked out. This is a professional email. All they're doing is consuming your content in this. So that was your initial follow-up. Second one is, if they don't respond back to you, we're going to send another email, which is, hey, I just want to check in and did you receive the documents that I sent you? That's the email. You don't want to assume they never receive. You're just kind of confirming. So same thing. Hi, client's first name. I hope you're doing great. I just want to touch base and make sure you received the documents we sent a few days ago. Just want to make sure they didn't end up lost in the vast depths of your inbox. We're genuinely excited about the possibility of working with you on your project, whatever it is, pool or outdoor living. If you had a chance to go through the documents, we would love to hear your thoughts. Now, whether that document is a proposal, whether the document is about us, your company info, you want to keep the conversation friendly. Looking forward to your response. Continue the conversation. This is the second follow-up, which is the on-site design, measurement, schedule update. So that's the subject line. If you guys do a phone consult and a customer says, hey, send me more info, this is that second follow-up email that you guys should be sending. If you already do a on-site visit and you still want to follow up, you can tweak this email according to what your second follow-up should be. Whether it's like, hey, I'm just following up. Can we get on another call? I want to run some stuff by you about your project, about HOA, financing, whatever the case is. You can add that as a second touch point. It doesn't necessarily have to be an on-site design, right? It's according to how your sales process works and what works best for you as your business owner. So all this email says is, I wanted to touch base with you and see how things are progressing with your project and see if you have any questions regarding the documents I sent you the other day. We have an upcoming availability for an on-site design. If you're ready to take a next step, we would love to schedule a meeting at your convenience. You're not pressuring or anything. You're just letting them know, like, hey, I have some availability. Let me know what time works and we can make it happen for you. So another friendly touch point, which is your second follow-up. Now, when you send the final, this is where like you don't want to close the doors at all. You want to keep them open. Just because they're not responding doesn't mean like, hey, they're not interested at all. I see this happen all the time. If they don't respond back, I've seen clients just literally just delete the contact info because they never responded back. So don't do that. Just move the lead to follow up later stage and just at least send them this like final touch point or final email. Hey, I know maybe this is not the right time. Let us know when you're ready. So I hope you're doing well. It seems like you might need some additional time to consider moving forward with their project. And I completely understand that. Take all the time you need and feel free to reconnect with us when you're prepared to move forward. We'll be happy to pick up where we left off. So see, in this email, you're not burning bridges. You're not saying, hey, we're booked out. So if you're really interested, you're going to have to reach us back out again. None of that. All you're doing is you're just like keeping the doors open. When they're ready, they will let you know. Now, I've added some notes here, which is like personalization adaptation. So ensure all emails are personalized with the client's first name, specific project details, and adapt the email wording to match your company's tone and style. So whatever your core values are, whatever, how you want to make it sound like your company, how you want to represent your brand, that's how you want to tweak that email. Now, this process can be modified based on the specific needs of your business or the unique situation of the lead. Like I said, whatever sales process you have, you can literally tweak the email scripts accordingly to your sales process. But the point is, it's important to maintain a regular communication with potential clients, but also respecting their space and time. So you can tweak this email, but at least have 3 or 4 touch points with these through email or text with all your potential customers. Just because they haven't responded doesn't mean you want to burn bridges. You want to keep them on, maybe for additional promo, additional offers that you can send them out later. So that way you can sign them on 3 months later, 4 months later. Could you not have seen so many clients close deals through reactivation campaigns? They will close these end of the year. They're like, hey, we're ready now after 6 months. So always keep a database of all your clients until they say like, hey, take me off the list. I'm no longer interested. Or they're like, hey, this is not what we're looking for, so just take me off. Unless they say that, just keep them on. You need to have a database of all the leads that you have potentially worked with in the past, all the leads that are qualified, never went with your company, and then all the leads that you did an estimate, but they never responded back. Like, categorizing all of these leads will help you understand more what's broken in your sales process. Understanding lead to appointment and appointment to sale conversion rates. It's really, really important. So we track the data on our end from lead to appointment. Let's say it's 35%, 40%. Then we also want to track from appointments to proposal send. Out of how many appointments, how many proposals did you actually send? Let's say you went to 20 appointments and you send 10 proposals. Now, what happened with the other 10? Why didn't you send the proposal? That's what you want to identify. Now, after you've done the appointment to proposal sent, next thing you want to track is proposal sent to proposal accepted. How many people that I send the proposal to, how many did they accept? Why did the other not accept? What was the reason? Was it the price? Was it the timing? What was it? So this is like a feedback loop to improve your sales process. And the more data you get, the better and more efficient your sales process is going to get. Then you want to track out of the proposals, like accepted. So now you have like appointment to close rate, like what's my actual close rate? And that will also vary depending on the source of traffic. Where are you getting those leads from? Is it through referral? Is it through word of mouth? Is it Google AdWords, Facebook ads, anywhere? So every lead source will have a different conversion rate. That's how you're going to improve your sales process again and again, by getting this feedback. We all get feedback from customers. We all get feedback from our employees to improve our company and improve our sales process accordingly. So that's all I've got for today. I want to open the floor if you guys have any questions, comments, or anything that you guys want to discuss on this.
I think this was a great Zoom with a lot of valuable information. And the questions that I would have is, how would you go about parting ways with a customer that doesn't make sense, or it's something that we can't handle at the time without offending them, and still maintaining that professionalism and not having them go on and give us a bad review or something, because there are some
100%.
projects that just doesn't make sense and we don't want to offend the customer. So what would you recommend, how to let them down, or like not take on that project without offense?
I would say just being 100% honest and just letting them know straight up, like, hey, this is not the type of project we work with. What I can do is I can recommend other contractors in the area that would be a great fit for what you're looking for. So what you're doing is you're letting them know this is not what we do, but I do know some people in the area, if you do know, and they would be able to get this type of project what you're looking for. So they would understand if obviously like, this is not where you're going to do. They would understand like, hey, I get it. This guy's not the one who specializes in this specific type of project, but he's actually going above and beyond to recommend other contractors who can do this. Like, I'll give you an example. On our sales side, you guys all know, like, we don't work with roofers or solar companies right now, but I do know in my circle a lot of agencies that offer lead generation for roofing and solar. So if you get a lead like, hey, I really want to work with you guys, I see your content everywhere, can you guys deliver some leads? I could take him on as a client, but I can't promise I can deliver him results. So what I would say, I'm like, hey, we only do it for pool contractors, we do it for hardscapers, but I do know some clients, I do know some friends who run really, really good agencies that can deliver roofing leads. Would you like me to connect you with them? They're like, yes. And then I just go ahead and connect it. So that's how I've approached these situations, Rafael.
And what about if they're looking for a pool generator like yourself, but it's, that this is not a right fit. This is not the right customer. They don't have the right budget. How do you go about it? Because that's more of what my question, the line of, obviously if I'm there and they're wanting, I don't know, a roof and going there for a pool, that's different, like that's easy to let them know, we don't do that right now, or I can recommend somebody. But what about if they want a pool? We know that they don't have the right budget and we know that they're not the right customer that we want to work with. How would you go about that?
Expectations. We set that expectation right away. I'm like, hey, what you're looking for is not realistic, and I don't think this would make sense. What I would say is like, I would probably get bids from other contractors, see if they're able to do it. But for us, there's absolutely no way we can deliver what you're looking for. I know that's a tough conversation, but just being super blunt and upfront, will save you a lot of headache.
Awesome. And to add to some of the things that you said earlier about arriving on time, I learned a long time ago that if you arrive on time, you're late. So always try to be there 15 minutes early. Just because you never know what can go on or what can happen. And also in a lot of communities they have guard gates and stuff, so you might make it to the guard gate on time but late to the house. So
late to the house.
That's one of the things that I recommend also. And another thing that from our side that I recommend is calling an hour prior. Call 1 hour prior, because your time is just as valuable as their time, and you don't want them wasting your time. And as a business owner, you have sales staffs working for you and stuff. You don't want them, paying them, and they're just they're getting their time wasted because a customer didn't show up to an appointment or wasn't there for when our sales staff showed up. So always an hour prior, I have my team call and confirm, even when I go on appointments or when they go on appointments, we have so much going on that we don't want to waste our time either, So I think that's another important point.
100%. Rafael, do you have like a lead nurturing or a follow-up process on your end?
We have how you set up like the emails.
Okay.
When we reach out, we send an email. Then after, when we send the estimates, we do that as well. We do the follow-up process as well. That's the way. And then also I have a WhatsApp channel with my group, like just for sales. So when a lead comes in, I send it to the group there. And when I get the thumbs up, means that they called and they either set up the appointment. And if they don't, they'll if they, like, for example, sometimes we get leads with bad numbers. So Rosa, she's in my office. Rosa would send an email instead, like, hey, we tried reaching out, but there was a bad number or whatnot. And just like the welcome, like, hi, how are you? We're trying to set up an appointment to meet to do an on-site, whatnot. So we do that. As well, and it works sometimes, and sometimes it doesn't work. But like you said, we don't delete them, and we put them into our CRM also, just to follow up. I use a builder's trend or whatnot, and all the new leads are supposed to be put in there. It's good to have a database of like just to start to track data. Maybe not this year or next year, like 3 years from now, we can look back and analyze data. So how things went. But
let me ask you something. Have you had leads that you didn't close right away, but you did close them after 3, 6, or even 9 months later? That
absolutely.
You thought like, oh, wow.
Absolutely. I tell my guys all the time, I say, hey, like there's visits that I've gone on that I've sent the estimate that, you know, you think that the customer ghosted you, and then all of a sudden they just come out of the woodworks and like, hey, we're ready to go, you know, and I'll follow up every once in a while with a text
Yep.
message or with a WhatsApp message or an email or whatnot. And believe it or not, like they come around. A lot of them do come around. It happens to me more likely than not, you know. So I would encourage like that follow up email or follow up text. Just say, hey, how you doing? Just wanted to touch base with you. If you had any questions, or even if you decided to go with someone else, if you ever need some consultation, feel free to give me a call because I can help you out. No worries. I won't, you know, kind of like just trying to help, you know what I mean? Really help,
Yeah.
because
I
whether
was
they
gonna
went
say
with
that
us or
also.
not. Go
Raphael,
ahead.
also just to add on to what you're saying, that like I always walk into them. I'm part of Raphael's sales team as well. So usually like when I go on, I always make it like a no pressure situation. I always tell them like, yeah, we're busy, we're kind of capping out at the amount of projects we can do. But you know, take your time. Always, you know, if you decide to sign with somebody else, just make sure they're licensed, just make sure, you know, apples to apples, the estimates are exactly the same. If you need help, you know, comparing because you don't know the language, you can always send it to me. So that's how I kind of go about. I always make it a no pressure situation. I do mention that we do have a, you know, a timeline for other projects, and you know, we are busy, even if you know we aren't right there in the moment, but to apply pressure, but in the most respectful way as well. So yeah, just to kind of tap on to what Raphael was saying.
Yeah,
Thank you for adding that,
really,
Abby.
Abby's really great at that, and you know, she has really good, you know, relationships with the customers, and they'll call you and ask, you know, and then
Yeah.
like we're more than happy to help, and you know, and you never know when that comes around, you know, just putting good info out there, helping people, and you know, they might have not made a decision with us for whatever reason, but
Yeah.
in the future, or they'll I've had customers that went with someone else and then recommended me to their friends because I was that helping hand when they needed it, you know.
It goes back to don't burn bridges if they don't decide to go with you, right? Like, because you never know, they might even send you a referral, or they come back later like, hey, I'll try to do it, I want to get out of that contract, can you do that? Like, you never know what's going to happen. So don't ever burn bridges with like if they don't decide to go with you, or just like completely ghosting you.
Yep. There's so many scenarios out there that just because it's communication is everything. And that's why this Zoom call is great, because this is more about communication than anything else. And nurturing leads is just communicating with people, basically, at the end of the day. And you know, there's scenarios where owners of the houses sold a house and there's things that are left undone that the new owners are calling us to finish things. You know what I mean? So there's still business to be to out there, you know, no matter. It's just really communicating. It's really
100%.
communicating and stuff with them. So, but yeah, those are the things I
Awesome.
wanted to chime in on. That I think that this was a great, very informative, and you know,
Appreciate it.
that's-
Anybody
wanna
else
share
have any
some with you.
questions?
I was gonna mention one other
Yeah.
thing. So like selling used to be kind of like a really stressful thing for me. You know, I'd kind of get discouraged when I couldn't, you know, sell something, or, you know, the guy didn't go with me, or, you know, whatever the situation was. But as soon as I kind of changed my mindset to understanding that the job is pretty much already sold, like the job is there, the clients want that job. It's really just selling you and your company. I know numbers, you can always work with numbers, especially when, you know, the client's not, you know, penny pinching, or you know, the estimate we sent out isn't extravagant. So it's always, you can always work with the money. It's really selling yourself to make sure
Selling
that they're
yourself.
comfortable with you. I think even just changing my mindset and that helped me, you know, be more comfortable, more clear, kind of, you know, selling myself as the person that should be doing this job for them. I think that I've actually had a lot of clients that even if they don't go with me, I've always gotten feedback like, it was really nice meeting you, you know, your knowledge really, you know, helped us, made us confident. Even if they didn't go with me, you know, it's always nice to hear that as well. It gets me into that new sales call with a fresh mind. You know, I'm doing something right if at least the clients are getting back to me with, you know, positive feedback, even if they didn't go with me.
I love that. Abby, and I'm assuming you learned all of this by actually, you know, having the same framework for every single lead that's coming in, making sure you're communicating, staying professional, providing them all the documents and resources on time, correct? Or did you have any course or training did you go through like for sales?
So it's really just sticking to your process. If your process doesn't work, tweak it, but just keep the same process for every client. You'll stay organized, you'll stay, connected with everything. Rosa in the office, she helps me a ton with setting up my client calls. So if I'm not here, there's still somebody else that they can reach out to in the office, a second point of contact that isn't just me.
Awesome.
But yeah, we have as soon as we call them, even if they answer the phone, we have that, that already set up email to send out right away. Once I let Rosa know that I've arrived, she calls the client to let them know, or I'll call them to let them know I've arrived. After I leave the sales call, Rosa will send out another email just saying, hey, thank you for your time. Just wanted to remind you 24 to 48 hours to get you an estimate back. If it's, going to take me a little bit longer, she'll reach out to them as soon as she can. Other than that, we stick to a pretty tight process for it. I think it's made us successful, and then it also really helps us stay organized with everything, because we do have a lot going on, and leads is something that we want to stay organized with to make sure that we, keep the projects coming in the future.
And mind you, the majority of our leads, like almost like I would say 90% of our leads are Facebook ads that we do through your company, that we consistently advertise, and we get good leads from there. And every once in a while, it's normal, that you'll get like a bad number that the customer probably like the finger, fat fingered it or whatnot. And but we'll send an email to if that, or they'll end up reaching out again at a certain point if nobody reached out to them and figure out that they either put the email and telephone number wrong or something just went wrong. But I also wanted to chime in on one thing, like from a customer standpoint, that my wife actually was the one that brought this to my attention, which is great because it gives you a perspective from a customer, right? So we just had a new baby and we're doing the newborn shoot or whatnot. And she was like looking and Googling and trying to find companies that would do like the photo shoot, right? And she reached out to like one company. They didn't answer the phone, and basically I think got a recording, like it was after hours or whatnot. And she did a scheduled call, right? She reached out at 9 a.m. and the person scheduled her at 5 in the afternoon. And then in that time frame, she had called another person who took her call right away, who like gave her like that customer service, who scheduled even an appointment and everything like that, felt comfortable, got all the information, and she went with that customer. So I mean with that company, and did the photo shoot with that company. And it turns out what the funny part of this like story is that afterwards they discussed about like, that she had called around and stuff like that. And the two companies, they knew each other. They're actually like friends. And the lady told her that she tells her friend all the time, like, you should answer your call after hours. You should because, and this was just a good example of like by her not taking Gianna's call at that time and trying to book her at that time, she lost her business to her friend.
Yeah. That's crazy.
So it's one of those things like that's really important. And I know you've told me in the past before as well, is that, when that lead comes in, it comes in hot. You gotta like call it no matter where you're at, what time it is, because if they're at their computer and they're plugging in that information to get that lead, is because like they want that information. They're not like, let me plug in my information now so I can get a call tomorrow at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. No, they're plugging that information and they're like thinking about that pool right now that they want, or the hardscape that they want. And if you're that person that called them in first, that said all the right things, that made them feel warm and fuzzy, guess who's going to get that appointment? Guess who's going to be the first one in the door there? And then once you get there, once you book it, you do your calendar invite, you show up your 15 minutes early, you call your hour before you show up, and you just run through that checklist of things, and if you filled all the check marks there, then you've put in 100% effort to get that job. You did everything right. So that other person who competes against you is going to have to be as on point as you are,
Yep.
So,
and this is especially with Facebook leads, right? Like you gotta call them right away.
Yep.
If you don't, the chances of you converting that lead into an appointment goes down a lot. So call them right away. For those of you who don't have our appointment setting service, call them right away and book them as fast as possible. If they are a good fit.
Absolutely. And that's what we do, you know, and that's why Abby's been successful and I've been successful, and we've closed a lot of the business that comes in through those leads, you know.
I love
I
that.
highly recommend, you know, that strategy that we use, you know.
I love that. All right.
And I know
Anybody else?
you told me in
Yeah.
the past, like if they don't answer the first time, you call them again.
Call them again.
So we
Yep.
we call them 2 and 3 times back to back, because sometimes they don't recognize, you know, my wife doesn't answer calls that she doesn't recognize the number. So,
Yep.
but if she gets a call maybe 2 times in a row, they're like, wait a minute, this can't be 2 mistakes. You know what I mean? They're
Yep.
calling for a purpose. So I
Yep.
recommend doing that. Just calling back to back, even up to 3 times, you know, just so they know that number was for a purpose, and then you leave a
Purpose.
voicemail or a text message.
Yep. That's exactly how we do it as well.
Yeah. So.
Anybody else have any questions, comments, anything they want to talk about?
We kind of do ours a little different. Raphael, I might have a little suggestion for you. When
Yep.
you were saying it's not your kind of fit for a job, I totally get that. We are definitely not the cheapest in the area. So what we do as a company before even writing an estimate, when we get back to the office within 24 to 48 hours, we don't give them an estimate. We give them a investment range kind of thing. Well, you're looking for this, it's going to cost you between this and this. You're looking for this, it's going to cost you between X and Y. And we write all of that out. And then at the end of it, ask, is this what you're looking for? Or is it like, what's your investment level in this? Because everyone's busy, everyone's time is very valuable. That's going to take you 5 minutes to write, rather than that email is going to take you 5 minutes. An estimate's going to it could take you up to 4 hours sometimes. So to get that agreement from the client in 5 minutes is going to either save you time, or you're most likely going to get a lot closer to the sale, to say the least. Because if they're okay with the investment level, then you have a green light. If they're not okay with that, wash it. I mean, you can always recommend them to someone. If it's our kind of job, I guess would say are tighter on recommending them to another company, because they're all of our competitors. If it's not our type of job, obviously we have a million recommendations for them. But that's really, see, Brandon, our biggest time saver, to say the least, as a company, is that initial email, because you don't want to sit down and waste 4 hours writing an estimate when their budget's a fourth of your estimate.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good strategy as well.
I was gonna
I like
say that usually when I'm at the on-sites, I'll kind of give them like an estimated number of my estimate. Kind of just giving them like an idea of what it's going to be. We kind of discuss it a little bit, and then I kind of say, if this is something, you know, you're willing to like look into, think about it, I will go back to the office right now, write you a formal estimate. And with that estimate, I actually send over our proposal / contract. That way they can review every single thing that, you know, our contract, basically, we send it all at once. I think that also like catches clients, especially with their interest in it, when they see that contract. That really starts with the questions. And then as soon as you can start answering their questions, I feel like is when they start, you know, gradually leaning towards going with you. But I really do like what you just said, is like, that's kind of what I do, is I make sure that I'm not wasting my time, you know, sending out estimates when I know it's not going to be, you know, what's a good fit. It's not going to be moving forward.
Yeah, exactly. Because I mean, we're a design installation company, and I mean, you can see the pictures, the other way behind me and stuff. We do huge resort backyards. So we're not getting an estimate to you in 48 hours. We might be able to get you an estimate in 2 weeks. We might be able to get to you in a month. But when we do our estimates, we don't email them. We always schedule a follow-up consultation. So they either have to come to our office or we're going to them. And that's when they get the estimate, because we do the design. So we'll do 3D designs, 2D designs, or hand drawn, depending on the type of client thing. So we don't get our estimates.
Do you ask for a retainer for those designs, or like you charge for those designs and then apply it to the project?
So sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. Normally, about 95% of the time, we do not get retainers, but we also don't release our design work without a signed contract. So
Got
it does, if the project warrants a design, we're gonna do it. But like, that's why we don't do Zoom call follow-ups. We actually had a client call today and she was like, oh, my husband can't come to the 10 o'clock follow-up. Can I do it on Zoom? And I was like, unfortunately, no, because they're gonna screenshot it, find someone cheaper, take our work and run with it. We're not doing, like, we're not working for free here.
Exactly.
So no, we don't take, normally we don't take any. If the initial design is revised like more than 3 times, then we're gonna ask for a retainer because this is a lot of time that we're putting into this design. But if they don't ask for many revisions, we just chalk it up. The time goes with the sale.
Nice. That's
But-
good. Where are you?
That's
Where are
all.
you at? Where are you? What state
We're
are you?
located in Wilmington, Delaware.
Oh, okay.
And then I know you guys were talking about all your documentations, like emailing everything out. So we actually have folders that we made. So obviously highlights our job, has our story about it with pamphlets. Because in my opinion, our opinion, you're gonna get that email, you might glance at it, and then you're deleting it. You're not saving it. So yeah, you can throw this stuff in the trash. So like it has our warranty sheet and then it has like a brochure of our process. So it walks you through exactly what to expect and when in the project phase from our initial appointment to the last final invoice. So people look at that, well, it could go on the coffee table and 2 months later, they pick it up. They're like, oh my God, I still haven't done anything with this. So we like to leave a paper trail. And then it's also good when family and friends come over to visit the house. It's there, they're gonna see it. It's visible to everyone. And then, oh, do I have one? Oh, yeah. We also made these as a marketing tool. So it is a custom magazine of our company. So it literally has our best, I think there's 42 jobs in it, highlighting it that we use as a mailer and then actually put with the larger projects in the folder. Because this is a coffee table piece. We put it at law offices, we put it at doctors' offices. It was a giant investment, I'm not gonna lie. It was a lot of work. I designed it. But
I was gonna say, yeah, that's big leagues right there.
it is, it's really big. But I can tell you right now, we've paid it off because we've sold 6 jobs from it.
Wow.
And I'm actually making another one to go out in
I love that.
the week after Labor Day. So
That's
the
a really good
investment
idea.
is worth the reward, to say the least.
Yeah, I'm thinking about doing something like that. That's awesome. That's great. I want to do something like that for sure.
It's
And-
cool. I mean, and it's cool to see everything that you've done because everyone has portfolios. We have a portfolio, but this is something that we can leave behind and not have to bring back to our office.
Yeah, that's really awesome.
That's all I have to share.
Mark, I just want to say that was extremely valuable. Thank you for that. This is why
Yeah,
we need you
absolutely.
on this call every Friday.
I'll try my best. But see, I'm not a salesperson,
Yeah.
so a lot of what you guys talk about, I'm like, it doesn't have to do with me.
Yeah.
I'm in the office, I do the marketing, I do the permitting, I do
love
everything
that.
else
I
besides
love
sell.
that. I love that.
It's awesome. Yeah, but the
Awesome.
marketing sells itself. So you.
You can say that again.
That's awesome. Send me one of those magazines. I'll give you my address. I would love to see one of those.
Yeah, we can mail one out to you guys.
You mind if I give her my address real quick, Sahid?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
If you want to send
470
it in the chat, I can just copy it.
Oh, okay. We'll do that.
I
I'll
don't want
do
to
it
spell
now.
anything
I'll do it
wrong.
now.
Perfect.
You're gonna do it, Abby?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I would love to see that magazine. That's badass.
This is why I
Oh.
love these calls. Like everybody gets so much value out of this from each other. And this is just like, help you guys each other grow your business. So super awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I'm glad that you do these calls. We just need to get more people on these
More
calls
people,
so we can
yep.
all collaborate.
Well, actually, I feel like Friday is a lot better than we started to do Wednesday. Wednesday was like our attendance was terrible. So we're like, all right, let's do Friday. Friday at 12 is a lot of people are like, are free around lunchtime. So I'm like, this is the time we got to do.
Sure.
Awesome. All right. If nobody has any other questions, we can probably wrap it up. It's right around 1 o'clock. Hope you guys have a wonderful weekend, wonderful day, and I'll see you guys next Friday at 12 o'clock.
Thank you,
Awesome.
Awesome.
Syed.
Thank
Thanks
you.
so much.
Thanks, guys.
you.
Bye.